to think about as in it's not just about making a video just to promote a single or to do something. It's an investment in your brand, but also you are taking people's attention away from a thousand other things that want their attention. I think investing in your own videos, it's a sign of respect to the people who pay attention to you.
Uncle Kevin's got the mic. We're diving deep. Business, film, and culture. Secrets to keep. Pull up a chair. It's a ride, not a chore. Conversations with Uncle Kevin. Big ideas we're always revving. Talking shop and spilling gold. Stories fresh, never old.
Today we'll be talking about music videos. Are they dead? Are they making a comeback? Did they ever go away? What happened? You know, I remember back in the 2000s when the music video was coming out and it felt like something big. I remember I was a huge Usher fan. So when he had the album Confessions and the music videos were coming out, it's like you had a week leading up to that where you were told we will be playing Usher's latest single at the end of the week, and that was something to look forward to. And I'd have these VHS tapes that I'll put in and record it because I never knew when was the next time I would be able to watch it again. So any moment that you could watch it was a special time to actually be able to watch it. But fast forward, I remember 2 years ago, a year ago, when Taylor Swift was releasing a music video for All Too Well, the 10-minute version. And I remember how they promoted it. You know, there were teasers and then there were these documentaries. There was a lot of things that was going around the music video. And that's when Sadie Sink was big within Stranger Things and all that. And there was all this talk which built the anticipation for the video. And then it came out and then I watched it for the first time. I watched it for the second time and then I stopped, you know, which when I think about back in the day, I would play those VHS tapes just to see those music videos over and over again. So it made me think this week or a week ago when an artist called Rosalia released a song called Begin. Now, this is an artist that I knew of, but I never listened to her music. She sings in Spanish, so it's very difficult for me to listen to music that I don't understand what they're saying. But when I saw her music video, I saw a snippet of it on social media. It quickly caught my eye just because of the concept of the music video. It was quite interesting. And it had me thinking as I was watching the full video on her page, the way they were going, my understanding of it was she was going through some situation, you know, and then I'm assuming it's some maybe anxiety or stress that she was going through that would act as the orchestra playing behind her. So every time she was in a room, the orchestra was playing. When she was walking outside, the orchestra was playing. So when I was watching it, I was so fascinated by what I was watching. The music was good, but for me, it was the music video that really captured me. At the end, it transforms into something else where you have these animals come out and there's all these visuals there and symbolisms there. And it made me think, are music videos back? But then they never went away. It was me who went away. It was me who stopped paying attention to music videos. And I think the primary reason is some of my favorite artists don't release music videos anymore. For example, Beyonce. I don't remember the last time I saw a Beyonce music video. Or for the songs that I like primarily, you know. And you get a lot of these lyrical videos, a lot of these teasers or whatever they call it on their YouTube pages where one song has like 10 music videos, but they're not the actual music videos. And it feels like artists have moved away from that. So it made me think about what Rosalia did different to capture my attention specifically and how other artists can think about their own videos. And so in today's podcast, we'll be touching on Rosalia's music video. We'll be touching on the idea of music videos. What were the importance of them? Are they still relevant in modern times? And yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts as well as we go. So the first thing is when we're talking about Rosalia's music video, why it was special for me. It's the first thing I think that I noticed was the style of filming that they use. So there's this thing I've noticed with Europeans, right? They have a different way of making films or making movies that they do, which is very, very different from North America. Like the style is different. The camera moves are more handheld. Everything feels natural. Like there's a naturalistic look to the European way of making films. Like I recently was watching I May Destroy You by Michaela Cole, and it feels homely whenever I'm watching British films, and even when I watch a lot of French films as well. I remember when I was watching, well, if we because Rosalie from Spain, if we talk about Spanish, when I was watching Money Heist, there's just something different about the way they do their cinematography. There's just something different about that European touch, and that was the first thing that I noticed. Because when she walks into the house, you have these stationary frames which allow you to see the house, and then you sort of engage with her as a character, and you sort of understand what's happening, even if you don't understand what she's saying or what she's singing. And then when she goes into a room, that's when I realized when they were introducing like layered meanings in the things that were happening, where at one point she's ironing and she's singing, and then the orchestra just pops up. One thing I was thinking was, were they in a house or was it a stage? Because like the room felt like it was getting big and it was getting filled with more people. And then at some points there were people outside the room through a window. So it was like, I don't know what type of space they were using to film this, but either way, it was quite interesting. And then at the end of it, you get the symbolism with the animals, and then there's different cuttings of like it cuts to somebody dancing up, if I remember well. So everything that you're watching, you get to understand the director's vision. Like there's an artistic choice that was being made just where the camera was placed, and how vulnerable Rosalia, was in certain parts, which I'm assuming has something to do with the meaning of the song. Another thing that was eye-catching for me was just the production design, the way she was dressed, and then the way that the orchestra was dressed, and then the way the rooms that she was in were dressed when she would go to the pawn shop to try and pawn a ring, I suppose. Just everything about it, like you could tell there was a lot of thought that was put into making this music video. So that was beautiful. And then the song itself, like it just sells. Because a lot of times, you get these great vocals or you get this great visuals, and you get it with a terrible song and you're like, like people will forgive terrible visuals for good sound, right? And I think the song just sells everything. So everything worked for her. And I think that's what made that music video special, and just the techniques, like the filmmaking techniques that were used in it. So, but at the end of it, I was like, I've watched it now 3 times, and I don't think I'll watch it again. So that then made me think, a music video is dead. And after a week of thinking about it, I don't really think they are. I think they have transformed in meaning, and they've changed in terms of access, because back in the day, if I wanted to watch a Beyonce music video, for example, there was no, you go on MTV and search Beyonce, you had to wait and hope that they would play, or if there was a top 20 and you knew that last week maybe a song was number 2, there is a chance she'll be in the top 10, there's a chance she'll be in the top 20, so that would be the perfect time to wait for her song to be played on MTV and stuff like that. So that was my experience growing up, compared to now, where if I want to watch a Beyonce music video, it's just going to a YouTube page and searching for it, and boom, it's right there. I'm watching Halo, I'm watching whatever else I want to watch, and so that's what made me understand that the role of music video is what has changed, is what's different because of the internet, unfortunately or fortunately. The role of music videos in 2025 is different from 2005, but they still serve the same purpose. The core point of making a music video, as it has been for decades, is promotion and artistic expression. In the modern world, music videos are important because of the following reasons. A good music video makes an artist stand out. Like I said, Rosalia has been making music forever. She was never on my radar because obviously I'm not part of a target audience. But having such a beautiful video, it captured my attention, and I'm assuming a lot of other people, because at the time of recording, it's at 15 million views, and there are some music videos that have reached billion views. Like I believe Rihanna's Diamonds is up there. So what music videos do is they help your audience relate to you, because like I said, I don't speak Spanish, I don't really understand Spanish, but or even if, because I don't think she was singing in Spanish, because apparently she made this album with like 15 different languages, so I don't know which language she was singing in. But the main thing is, in watching the video, I could relate to her character that she was playing. I don't know if that is who she is, but whatever character she was playing is something where you're like, huh, okay, I can empathize with that person. And through the video, I could understand, you know. Another video that we could speak about is Tate McRae's You Broke Me First. You know, that song, that video, it frustrates me because of like, it's so simple. And I don't think if you gave a director and you're like, come up with a music video for this song, that would have been any director's idea. But they did it, and that song, last time I checked, was above 100 million views on YouTube. So it's like a lot of people related to the lyrics of the song, but the video made it more simple. Because, you know, when you're going through a heartbreak, the one thing you're just doing is just walking. So it worked for music videos. Help you stand out. I remember when I was coming up, Madonna's music videos were always something to look forward to, because you never knew what was coming. I remember when her song with Justin Timberlake came out, and that was something like the 5-4, you got 4 minutes to save the world. There was a huge anticipation. There was a huge build to that song coming out, and then when it did come out, I was like, whoa! Would you look at this? Like the dances, there's always these moments that you look forward to when the music video popped up. And that made artists stand out, because you knew a Madonna video would just be like, oof. You knew when a J-Lo video, like the dances, when the Shakira videos, you knew at some point there would just be a time for them to start dancing. And that made, you know, the anticipation compared to now. And I think that is still part of life. Like, your music videos help artists just stand out, because like you're trying to see, you know, a lot of times when you listen to something like R&B, where a lot of these artists just sound the same. But I think in having these music videos, they allow themselves to brand themselves, if you may, and just be different. Another part of what music videos serve in today's market is they're there to serve the algorithm. They're there to feed it. You know, unfortunately, you know, when you look at how the algorithm works, it likes to be fed. It likes content. It wants more content. It wants more. There is no satisfying the algorithm. And in order to be relevant, especially as a musician, you have to be on top of things, because if you don't post and you're already not big, it's going to be very difficult for you. And I think music videos create an opportunity to create content. Like I said, when Taylor Swift's song was coming out, there was behind the scenes, there was talks with the cinematographer, talks with the director. There was a lot of things, a lot of content built around the music video, and that all helps push the music video, which in turn helps push the album. So that is an important thing to think about. You know, nowadays, when I was growing up, content was king. Now it feels like content is everything. It's literally what we all have to do to push our careers forward and just to be relevant within the ecosystem that we work in. Another important thing of what music videos now serve compared to back in the day, they are part of search and discovery. So, for example, if I was to tell you of an artist that you probably don't listen to, never think about, or if you told me of an artist, the first thing that I do is search them up. You know, I remember when Benson Boone's song was blowing up, the first thing I did was search who he is, you know, because on TikTok you're getting all these videos and whatever, but you want to see who the man is and what does he do, and you want to see the music video to it to see if it connects with whatever I'm visualizing when I'm listening to the song. And that is part of what happens now. You know, when I was in school studying marketing, the first thing they always taught us was, you know, you have to have a good online profile, because the first thing people hear when they hear about you is they search you, and either they go to your Instagram or they go to your YouTube just to see what type of an artist are you. Are you someone who pushes what I believe in? And research recently has shown that Gen Zs are constantly looking for someone they can relate to, and you can see in the type of artists that have gone mainstream. You know, for example, someone like Doechii, her visuals that she was putting out, they managed to separate her, but also they helped her with the discovery from new fans and put it out there. Music videos in today's world, you know, I don't know about you, but on all the platforms I'm on, it's very difficult to avoid the concept of personal branding or the concept of branding. It's always interesting when something becomes popular, how everybody takes it and runs with it. But music videos help with the representation of an artist's personal brand. You know, when you're watching a Tyler the Creator music video, you almost know what's coming and it reinforces that. And that is something that is important. And then you look at someone like Taylor Swift, her videos, there's always, you know, back in the day, Easter eggs, there's always these things that are built around what she's doing, which helps solidify the brand within her audience's brain. A well-produced video signals to the public, promoters, agents, and labels that you're serious about your craft and committed to investing in your career. So in 2025, compared back in my day, you know, a lot of artists now, when they get signed to these major labels or when they get a deal, it's no longer just about discovering you as an upcoming artist or as someone who has talent, because apparently everybody has talent. Nowadays, what separates you is your ability to go to market by yourself. And then what these people now do, because they're not taking as much risk as they used to back in the day, is the moment you're about to be hot or when you're hot, that's when they want to jump in with you, right? Because then they know that the system that they have can amplify you further than where you're at. Instead of developing a talent which would cost them money, now they just prefer to, you know, get the talent who's almost there. And with the rise of a lot of indie artists, so music videos do showcase that, right? So they do tell someone. So when, for example, I'm assuming when a promoter is like, oh, I need someone, an opening act, right? And then they set you up and then your video comes out, rather than just having MP3 statics just popping up where it's like, oh, so you don't even invest in your career. And then you can be like, oh, I cannot afford to do it. It's like, bro, you have a phone. You know, the whole thing is come up with concepts within your means, which I totally understand. And also, like, I think the unfortunate part is money talks, you know. It's, you get out of it what you put in it, right? So for example, if you were to compare an upcoming artist to Taylor Swift, right? So Taylor Swift probably is putting $5 million into a music video and you're putting $5, you know, you'll be able to tell the difference. But I think that at the end of the day, if people can appreciate that, no, this is, we see where the $5 went, you know, like you have a chance. And that's the only thing you can truly ask for in the days we live in, is just a chance. What has changed with music videos from 2000 to now? The major things that have changed when it comes to music videos are platform change. So coming up, the major place where music videos would be seen would have been on music channels like MTV. And in Africa, we have a channel called Trace. We have a channel called Channel O, where they'll play music videos all day, back when I was coming up, to digital channels now where your music videos are on Spotify. I remember Apple Music has music videos, Spotify, they're on YouTube, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram. Instagram is now a video app. Who would have thought? You know, they're on X, they're everywhere. Like, you can't really avoid seeing videos anywhere that you're on. So that has been a major shift. And what this has meant is it's now far much easier to put out videos, right? So back in the day, you would submit your video to a TV station and they'll decide what they wanted to play. Whereas now you just put it up on your platform and your fans will go watch it. Other people can discover it. The algorithms will suggest your video to different people who probably never listened to you. And if it's eye-catching, they might give it a watch. Another thing is the goal of music videos has changed, like the main goal. So back in the day, the main goal of music videos was always marketing an album sales. So for example, when Thriller comes out, when you see the Thriller music video, the next thing is about going to get the album Thriller, right? So that was the concept. It was, how do we push this? So it was, music videos were in a way used as a advertising tool for the artist and for the album that they were trying to do, compared to now where music videos serve more as a brand building tool. They are content for the algorithm, right? So nowadays, your music video, it says a lot about what you think, your political ambitions, if you're someone who's into that, your religious views, if you're someone who's into that, the message that you're trying to put across, if you're someone who's into that, all these things come up. So people are constantly judging you based on the videos that you put out, which is different from back in the day because, you had artists like Madonna, for example, or even anybody you want to think about where each video would be totally different from the last and it didn't have to serve a message or whatever you're trying to say. It was just in good fun and people appreciated that. But now it says a lot about you, what you put out in the world. That's how people remember you. And for some people, that content you're putting out is the first time that they're consuming anything from you. Gatekeepers. Now, in my past, previous video, I was complaining about gatekeepers in the film business, but there were also gatekeepers in the music business, right? So by gatekeepers, we mean when you submit your video to MTV, somebody would decide if it's to be played. Somebody would decide if it's in the top 20. Somebody would decide, which could be limiting if they felt like, oh, I don't really like this, and then they wouldn't push it, or they'll be like, oh, it didn't perform well, or they'll play it at a time that's wrong and stuff like that. So nowadays, that barrier is sort of gone away because the new gatekeepers nowadays is algorithm and your fan engagement and stuff like that. So nowadays, that's the challenge that you have, right? It's you can put up your music video, no one is gonna stop you at any time of the day. But you are now competing, whereas back in the day was with other music videos on that channel, to now you're competing with content creators, you're competing with movies, you're competing with school, you're competing with different types of people on the same platform, especially a platform like YouTube. The budgets have also changed. So back in the day, there were often high budget to justify TV airtime and a major single push, whereas the focus was on epic or highly polished looks compared to now where the budget ranges from $0 to $1 million of making a music video, visual effects and stuff like that are being used. Different cinematic techniques are now being used in music videos. So that has been a major difference. And you could tell, like, back in the day, they always felt like an event, like, because even to now, like, commercials cost a lot of money, bro. Like, it's crazy. And you think, when you were watching, I remember Drake's first person shooter, when that video came out, I was like, yo, this is, there's a lot of money spent on this one. And I think that is the world we live in. And then you'd see something like Tate McRae's where it's like, it's a phone on a car. So either way, both videos work and both things compete. So as an upcoming artist, there's no excuse of saying, I can't make a music video. I mean, if you just search up, I made a budget-friendly music video. I made a music video for $0. The only challenge with a lot of these things is when you're making a music video for $0, it cannot look like you made a music video for $0. That is the major challenge. The focus of the artist. So the videos were used as a singular focus to launch a major single. The video was one piece of content in a stream. The video, compared to now, the video is one piece of content in a stream. Teasers, behind the scenes, outtakes, lyric videos, etc. that feeds the 24/7 content cycle. So you find back in the day, like, there will be anticipation coming soon. Oh, this on the TV, compared to now where it's like, oh yeah, it's out. Thank you. But there's like 5 more things that are connected to that song. There's a teaser. I remember when Tyler was pushing a song, Put Me in Chanel, like, there's a photo on Instagram. There's all these things. She's changed your Instagram photo to Put Me in Chanel. Like, you have to keep pushing the single in any and every shape that you can. And you have to keep making multiple videos because you want people to keep consuming. The more people play, the more money you make. And especially for these big artists where their numbers really matter of how much they sold. Because nowadays it's like they count the number of streams divided by something, and then that gives them the number of music sold. So it's quite important to have those music videos come out. Back in the day, music videos were seen as primarily a promotional expense to drive CD download sales. Compared to now, it is a direct revenue stream, monetization on YouTube, and a marketing to drive streams on other platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. Back in the day, music videos were treated like adverts, like commercials, right? So they'll have all these polished looks. You can literally see it. Like, these guys were making some very crazy videos. I can think of the Justin Timberlake and Timbaland song, I'm tired of using technology. Like, when you watch that video, it's like, whoa, compared to now where a music video is not only just there to serve as a brand building tool, it's also a monetization tool. So when some of these artists with these billions of views, because YouTube has to share the money of those views with the people, right? So it's part of that, and it's also part of a video is there to push people to go play the songs on Spotify, or sometimes when you use it as background noise, which we used to do, but now you can repeat the same song if you want to. The most fundamental change in the move from the music video as a grand event to a piece of content. So in the 2000s, a music video release was a scheduled, a highly promoted event on television. It was the only way most people would see the visuals, giving it immense cultural weight and a sense of scarcity. Today, music videos exist in a world of infinite scroll. They are a necessary part of an artist's digital footprint and a key component used to create dozens of shorter vertical clips that are meant to go viral on short form platforms like TikTok and Reels. This shift has both democratized and fragmented the music video landscape, making it easier for indie artists to gain traction while simultaneously making it harder for any single video to achieve the monoculture dominance that was possible in the MTV era. So that is the unfortunate part of it, is because you have billions and millions of minutes of content online that people have to consume. Either you're doom scrolling and whatever you're in, the algorithm feeds you whatever you engage with. And as an artist, the unfortunate part is you can put out your video today and it will have 5 views, and that is heartbreaking, especially when you've invested money. And a lot of times, especially as an indie artist, I understand, like, bro, if someone charges you $5,000, $10,000 to make a music video, your expectation from that is, I need to make my money back, or sheesh, I don't know if I can do that, And as a filmmaker, it's always an interesting conversation to have with artists where they come to you with concepts that are doable, but a lot of times, our job is to solve problems. It's not necessarily to make films, but it's, okay, we want this. What do we have? What are the resources we have? How can we achieve that? And the challenge is always in the conversation. If an artist wants something, for example, made by an artist like Bad Bunny, right? You like, yo, I like this music video that Bad Bunny just did. And you're like, yeah, we can do it, but it's gonna cost us, it has 10 extras. We have to pay an extra. For example, here, you may charge an extra $200 a day. So if you have 10 extras, that's $2,000 that has to go into those extras pockets. If you're looking at renting cameras, because sometimes you want a specific look. So it's like, oh, you want the Ari? Cool, man. The Ari is going to cost us $1,500 a day. And it's like, whoa, the budget just went up $3,500 before we've even spoken about lights, before we've even spoken about location. So then it becomes about what's in our budget and what can we do with the little that we have. And then once an artist sometimes realizes, oh, so we can make this for free, let's do it for free. The problem with doing it for free, it will look free, because everybody knows what is free. Everybody has a phone, everybody, and it's very hard to get your other collaborators interested in working on a project that has no, financial reward for them, but also it doesn't really highlight their skills in glory in making that with you, which is a challenge, we all have to face, when you're starting out, when you don't have a budget. But it's important to invest in your own career, because people take you serious as much as you take yourself serious. And it's easy to have excuses to say, oh, wow, this is expensive, I don't want to do it. But I think in the modern times that we live in, you have to compete, and especially with AI coming, it's going to be very, very important. I mean, there's an opportunity to some people would start, generating videos from AI, which is cool. But the only problem is that your artistic expression, and is that how you want to be known, So those are things that we all have to think about. So part of this whole video, all I wanted to speak about was, have music videos died? I think the concept of music videos that I grew up with as a millennial is gone. Gone are the days of waiting for a video and recording it, just to watch it over and over again, because now you can just watch it. But I don't think that music videos as a concept are dead. I think they've changed in meaning and in how to approach them. And it is quite important for many artists to understand that music videos are not an expense. The way, if you're reading, especially books on how to market, it will seem like an expense because back in the day, they served as a commercial. Whereas now they serve as your content, they're revenue stream. So in a way, they're investments. Imagine I don't know how much Shine Bright Like a Diamond makes for Rihanna and her team and the people who fed, but like if you have something that hits 1 billion views on YouTube and it's monetized, that should be crazy. And how many streams has that generated for her and her team, you know? So that's something to think about, as in it's not just about making a video just to promote a single or to do something. It's an investment in your brand, but also you are taking people's attention away from 1,000 other things that want their attention. I think investing in your own videos, it's a sign of respect to the people who pay attention to you. So yeah, I don't think music videos are dead. I just think they now exist in a different format, and it is up to us to adapt or see you in the next one.